Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Ikram and you are watching my YouTube channel English with Ikram. In today's video, I am going to discuss a very important topic, and that's pronunciation. How to improve your pronunciation and what is the importance of pronunciation. In lots of languages, each letter represents a sound. And that's very simple. Pronunciation is very simple. When a letter represents a sound, it's very easy to pronounce that particular word. But in English, this is not the case. That's why pronunciation in English, that's very, very difficult. Even the native speakers, they are confused because of this system. Each letter in English language does not represent a sound. Sounds are totally different, but the letters' orthographic representation is totally different. Let me give you one example. For example, here is a word. What is this? Knowledge. When we write this word knowledge, how many letters are there? How many alphabets are there? Knowledge. These are 9 alphabets, 9 letters. But when we pronounce this word knowledge, how many sounds are there? You have to be very much aware of sounds. You have to learn sounds if you want to be accurate in your pronunciation, because this is the game of sounds. I will discuss in detail later on. Here, when we pronounce the word knowledge, how many sounds? Let me phonemically transcribe this word. It's N, O, L, E and J. There are 5 sounds. How many letters were there? 9. 9 letters are there, but sounds are just 5. Because of this system, this confusion, pronunciation in English language, that's very much difficult. We have no rule. There are 9 letters. Some are silent. Each letter is not representing a sound. So when we speak, our spoken language is totally based on sounds. So what should we do? We have to practice with IPA. That's the standard. What is IPA? International Phonetic Alphabets. That's a standard. That's a criterion for us. Because written language is totally different. We write differently, but we have to pronounce totally differently. As in the case here in this word, knowledge, sounds are 5, but alphabets are 9. That's why I have told you that pronunciation in English language is totally, you can say, difficult or confusing. Let me give one more example. For example, here is a word, letter CH. This combination of letter sometimes give the sound of ch. The same combination sometimes give the sound of sh. The same letters sometimes give the sound of this one, k. How would we identify? We have no rule. There is some origin, but being a non-native speaker, we are learning a language, so we are not capable of learning all other languages. For example, French or Greek or Latin. So being non-native, even the native speaker, they just know the English language. So our target language is English. So we cannot have the knowledge of all other sounds, because these different words have their origin of different languages. This is very much difficult for us to know each and every language. So this is a problem for us. And how can we overcome, how can we resolve this problem? We have to just practice with IPA. We have to learn sounds. So here, for example, in the word match, in the word church, this CH give the sound of ch. The same combination in the word, for example, machine. This is giving the sound of sh, dish, fish. Sorry, I am talking about this combination, ch. Sometime, as in the word machine, it is producing, it's giving the sound of sh sound. Here, for example, in the word chemistry, the same combination it's producing, it's giving the sound of k. So, pronunciation is very confusing. Same is the case with this letter C. Sometimes it gives the sound of s, sometimes it's k, sometimes it's maybe sh. So, orthographic representation and our sounds, or you can say spoken language, both are totally different. You have to learn sounds because it's something very simple. When we write letters. But when we speak sounds. So to improve our pronunciation, we have to learn sounds. And pronunciation is very, very much important because you have to learn pronunciation if you want to communicate properly, especially the native speakers. What is the standard of a language, of any language? The standard is, the criterion is, you should be able to communicate with the native speakers or you should be able to comprehend their languages. Normally it happens that when a Pakistani speaker, Indian speaker, when he speaks, we are capable of understanding. But when a native speaker, he speaks, we cannot comprehend, we cannot understand. We cannot communicate with him. Why? The reason is because of our poor pronunciation. Let me give you some examples. Why can't we understand the native speakers? Some very simple words. For example, this is a word. A very simple word. I'm not talking about difficult words. There are many different words, very simple words, which are being mispronounced at a very higher level. I have discussed so many words, almost 100 words in my different videos, common words which are mispronounced. But here, I'm just talking about how can't we understand the native speakers. This is a word, we normally pronounce this word as go, this short vowel. But actual pronunciation of this word is this one. We mix this short vowel sound with this diphthong. It's go. This is not go, it's go. Very simple word. Again the same case. If I transcribe this word, this is home. But we pronounce it like home. When we say home, and when we listen to a person pronouncing this word as home, we say, what is this? So here we are not capable of comprehending or understanding a very simple word, home. Especially in connected speech, when he will say home, I would say, what is he talking about? Because we have never heard this word before. Our pronunciation is home. Our pronunciation is go. These are very simple words. One more, we say vote, the same thing, where we mix this short vowel sound with this diphthong. Not what normally we people do, we just try to copy their accent, which is something very awkward. You are supposed to be accurate in pronunciation. Just have focus on pronunciation. Don't bother about their accent. Accent is totally different. Accent is just your style now. The modern definition is just transfer of your own phonology. That's accent. Just you try to twist your, that's something natural. Don't try to copy their accent. Just copy their pronunciation because that's a standard. There are different accents now. Indian accent, Pakistani or subcontinent accent. That is universally acknowledged. You may have your own accent. Don't worry about it. But as regard pronunciation, you have to learn it. And how will you learn pronunciation? You will have to learn IPA, International Phonetic Alphabets. You have to learn 44 sounds. Let me discuss the game of sounds. There are 26 letters in English language. How many alphabets are there? Just 26. But as regards sounds, there are 44 sounds. And it is not possible for each letter to represent each sound, because sounds are 44. Out of these 44 sounds, 24 sounds are consonants and 20 are vowels. You have to learn all these 24 consonant sounds and 20 vowel sounds, their symbol, their utterances, their different features. Even after that, you will be able to learn pronunciation. Right? Without knowing the sounds, without knowing this pronunciation, you can never learn accurate pronunciation. You can never comprehend the native speaker. You can never be able to understand their language when they speak. Just by copying their accent, you cannot be very close to the native speaker. For example, just a simple sentence, for example, the difference between pronunciation and accent. This is, now it is the simplest sentence, a very simple sentence. But when a non-native speaker, the way we normally pronounce the word, we would say, you utter this sentence as, this is a car. This is a car. Now anybody can comprehend. But when a native speaker will speak this sentence, he would, this is a car. Don't get worried about the accent. My accent is the same. I'm not changing my accent. Just my focus is pronunciation. In simple way, or you can say the way the non-native speaker, especially Pakistani or Indian, they pronounce this word, they utter this sentence as, this is a car. Now anybody can understand, can comprehend, can get this sentence. But when a native speaker says this sentence, when a native speaker pronounces or says this sentence, he would say, this is a car. This is a car. There are certain rules. For example, I have discussed one rule that whenever ra sound in British English especially, it comes at the end of a word, it is not pronounced. And whenever this ra sound comes before a consonant sound within a word, it is not pronounced. Only in British English. In American English, the case is different. So you have to be very much focused about the sounds. Because as I've told you, it is something very simple. Whenever we speak sounds. And if we don't do the sounds, all the sounds, their features, their characteristics, their utterances, their symbols, we can never improve our pronunciation. There are very simple words, as I have given some examples, which are being mispronounced. I have my different videos on commonly mispronounced words. I will give the link of all those videos. Sounds of English language, I have discussed in detail. Consonant sounds, 24 consonant sound. How do we produce sound? What is the science of sound? 20 vowel sound, short vowel sound, long vowel sound, diphthongs. I have discussed all these in detail, and I will give the links of all these videos here in the description of this video. You have to watch all those videos if you want to improve your pronunciation. And I have discussed this thing, I have told you this one again and again, that if you want to speak English language, you have to be very much conscious about your pronunciation. Otherwise, you won't be able to communicate. And language is all about communication. If you can't communicate, especially the native speakers, or in your interviews, your mispronunciation, your poor pronunciation sometimes may create a lot of problems, a lot of issues for you. Even sometimes the meanings are changed. In pronunciation, the first and foremost thing is your pronunciation. Then sounds, how do you pronounce the sounds? Then there is syllable stress, word stress, sentence stress, assimilation. There are many other things. But the first and foremost thing is the knowledge of sounds. If, for example, a very simple word. This is, you can say, the simplest word. Boy. We normally pronounce this word as, I can't even transcribe this word. Boy. This sound does not exist in English language. There are many sounds that we, the non-native, normally produce, but actually those particular sounds don't exist in language. So, if I transcribe this word, when I say I transcribe, it means that phonemically transcription, representation in sounds. I am talking about this IPA. I will give the chart of IPA here. You have to practice the IPA. And you can download from your cell phone in your Play Store. There are phonemic chart by British Council. There is a phonemic chart. You can download that. You can practice consonant sound, their symbol, their utterances, and vowel sound. And you have to learn, especially if you want to learn English language, if you are a teacher, if you are a student, even if you're a common person, if you want to go abroad to Dubai or to in a European country, you have to learn English language, but with correct pronunciation. Because with your mispronunciation, sometimes even the meanings is changed. For example, I normally give one example in my different sessions. A person in UK, he went to a shop, a general store. He asked the person, the shopkeeper, give me some flour. I want to get some flour. The shopkeeper he gets embarrassed. How can I help you by giving you flour? Then another person who could understand both the languages, English and his language, Urdu, he asked the person, what do you want? He said that I want flour. And then he told him in his native language. Then that person resolved the issue that he is asking for flour. This is all about mispronunciation. Flour is something that I am standing on. But flour, that is the thing that he wanted. So sometimes your mispronunciation may create issues for you. So you have to learn pronunciation. And how would you learn this pronunciation? By practicing IPA. You have to learn all the sounds, 24 consonant sound and 20 vowel sound, total 44 sounds. You have to learn all these sounds. And without learning, without the knowledge of sounds, you cannot learn pronunciation. And if your pronunciation is not up to the mark, you cannot comprehend and you cannot communicate. And if communication does not take place, then what is the use of learning a language? Sometimes people argue that if you are just capable of conveying messages, it's enough. This is very poor argument. The standard is you have to learn a language just like the native speaker. You have to be very much close to the native speaker in pronunciation, not in accent. Again, I tell you, don't worry about the accent. Just try to be accurate. 99%, if not possible in 100%, 90%, more than 90% accuracy should be there in your pronunciation. And how would you learn pronunciation? I have told you, you have to learn this IPA in the National Phonetic Alphabet, where you have to practice these 44 sounds. In 44 sound, 24 consonant sound, 20 vowel sound, their feature, their characteristic, their utterances, their symbols, everything. And then you have to practice with the help of this phonemic chart. I have shown you over here. You have to take the screenshot. Now, let me just give you some example of very simple letters. How we mispronounce the words. For example, here is a word. I am talking about very simple words. There are hundreds, thousands of very simple words which are being mispronounced by the non-native speakers. Here, again the same vowel sound is mixed with this one. This is short vowel, this is long vowel. We, the non-native, normally mix with this short vowel sound with this long vowel sound in many words. And that's why we cannot understand, we cannot comprehend the native speaker when they speak, because of this mispronunciation. And I am talking about very simple words. And what should be the case? What would be the case in difficult words? In many other words, especially in connected speech. For example, we say honest, isn't it? But when a native speaker speaks, again I am transcribing this word in phonemic transcription. It's honest. We say part, but again this long vowel sound is mixed with this one. Here again this sound is there. It's pot. Even if a native speaker speaks these very simple words, we cannot comprehend because of this poor pronunciation. So we have to work on our pronunciation. Let me give some more examples of words which are commonly mispronounced. I have discussed many different words in my different videos. I am giving this example just to make you realize that pronunciation is how much important. This is, we normally pronounce as tomb. Tomb within Karachi. But the accurate pronunciation is, if you consult Oxford Dictionary, you will find this symbol is tomb. It's not tomb. So you can watch my videos, commonly mispronounced words. I have discussed many words which are commonly mispronounced. As I have told you, I will give the links of all those videos here in the description of this video. So you have to practice with the help of this IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, with the help of the chart that you have to download from your cell phone, that is phonemic chart by British Council. So when you will practice, then you will consult dictionary for different words, and you will feel that the way you pronounce and the pronunciation that's there in the dictionary, that's totally different. And I admit, and even the native speaker, they admit that pronunciation of English language, that's very much confusing because of the system. Each letter does not represent each sound. That's why pronunciation is confusing. So what should we do? We are just supposed to practice. But before that, you have to learn the sound. Because spoken language, that pronunciation is totally based on sounds. Unless we learn sounds, we cannot improve our pronunciation. So this was just a brief lecture about pronunciation. What is the importance of pronunciation and how can you improve your pronunciation? And if you are not much concerned about your pronunciation, you cannot speak a language, English language properly. You cannot communicate properly. You cannot communicate with the native speaker. You cannot comprehend the native speaker. And then there is no use of English language. So I hope that you will practice with the help of this system. And if you have any query, any ambiguity, you may ask question in the comment box of my video. That's all for today. Thank you very much.